Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of parent functions. This is standard 8.7C in the great state of Texas, and we're using item number 38, which is a new item type called drag and drop of the 2023 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So this is drag and drop, right? So we're going to need to make the coordinates here of the vertex. Obviously, let's see what happens. If we just try to answer one, it's going to say you've not answered everything. So let's make sure we answer both the x and the y coordinates, because this is a 2-point problem, one for each coordinate. So let's just start by talking about what we know about parent functions and how they get transformed. Then we'll use the calculator to double check our work. Okay, so we've got our basic function right there. Okay, f of x equals x squared. So I'm just going to kind of draw this right here. I'm just going to draw this right there. This is our basic quadratic, very vanilla, goes through the origin, faces up. Okay, that's what the basic f of x equals x squared looks like. Now we've got two things happening to this child function here. So first, we're going to do an x minus 3, and then we're going to do a minus 9 outside of the x, okay? So these two things are going to do two different things. Let's start with this minus 9, okay? So when we are changing a minus 9 outside of the parentheses, outside of the x, okay? What this does is this changes our y-intercept. So y-intercept, and it's going to be just pretty intuitive. If it's minus 9, what that's going to do is that's going to bring it down here. So all it does is it shifts it up and down. So this number just shifts it up or down. So if it was a positive 9, it would go up, right? So it might look something like this. Okay, if it was just f of x, then that minus 9 outside. That's what that would look like. Now, it's not the only thing that's happening, because we also have this x minus 3. So when you have it within the parentheses, this shifts it side to side. Now, it's a little bit counterintuitive because it's x minus 3, but it's actually the opposite, right? So this minus 3 is actually going to shift it over to the right, whereas if it was a positive 3, it would shift it over to the left. So that's a little counterintuitive. So this might shift it over here to like a positive 3, and it would kind of shift it like that. Okay? Now, if you're going to get both of them together, well, then we're going to need both together. Right? So let's see if we can draw that, and I'll draw that black. Right? So you would end up with estimating something that's going to kind of look like this. Okay? Something that's going to have an x value of 3, y value of negative 9. Now, we don't have to take my word for it. Right? So we can use our graphing calculator. You can use the Desmos if you want to as well. So let's just use y equals, and let's just draw our vanilla one right here. Okay? We're just going to graph this. So there we go. That's our starting one. Colors don't match, but that's fine. So let's just see what happens when we do the x squared and then minus 9. So that was the first transformation that we looked at. Right? So that moves it down on the y-axis. So it just shifts the y-intercept. Okay, now we're going to go over here. Now we need parentheses here to capture that x minus 3. We want that whole thing to be squared. So x minus 3 squared. Watch how that's going to shift it over to the right. The minus 3 actually shifts it over to the right. But it's not moving it up or down. It's just moving it left or right. So let's just do it all together. Right? Let's do x minus 3 squared, and then we'll do a minus 9. Okay? And then we'll see what happens there. And that's exactly what we were looking for. And we will see here that it is going to be all the way down there. Let's get that down to as close as we can get, about that 3 and that negative 9. So that is our answer.